So welcome along everyone to a fabulous little seasonal tutorial. This is a little pumpkin just flowing and glowing in the beginning of the autumn season. So let's get going, guys. Peter the propelling pencil doing his thing. We're just going to have a central shape for a start, so I just want to work out exactly where we want to be. So relatively central of the image, little dot at the top, little one at the bottom, and then for the width, so this is the overall area we're looking at for the pumpkin. Yeah, a few little dots to guide the pencil. So it's a long squidge, you know, it's like a football you've sat on, that type of shape. Okay, we just join it very lightly together. And then what we need to do is break this down into those little chunks of pumpkin. So a little half circle, little half circle. Once we've got one on, don't take it down too far. We'll just flip a few little half circles again. Get them gradually a little bit lower each time. And the same on the bottom end. Flip them round. Don't have to be too accurate. And then we shape by bringing down the individual chunks of pumpkin. Yeah, again, a bit ruggety, and raggedy is good. There's the basic shape, guys. Pumpkin little stem, I'm going to put a little line to the right and just weave that back so it hits the centre there. That's the way it broke off, yeah? That's where Farmer Pumpkin broke off the pumpkin. A few little leaves going out, and again, these are just random shapes, just the direction's more important than the actual shape. So there is your pumpkin, guys, very simple. Behind, we've got a little line going back, so we want the surface that it's resting on. This is going to be dark, negatively picking things out. Don't be scared by that word. And that's all we need, guys. So really that is all the drawing is. Quick and simple, no fussing about. And let's have a break and we'll get back in a moment to get some paint on. So welcome back, guys. Had a pumpkin bride, some pumpkin soup, perfect for the painting. And so now let's get some paint on. So I'm going to start with my big dagger brush, Dangerous Dave. He's got a bit of water on, not too much, not soaked. What I'm going to do is drag this down the shape of the pumpkin. So start at the top, drag down, and we're going one side, now the other side. Try to leave a dry spot just there, that's where the light's going to hit. Excuse me. Bit of pumpkin soup lodged, so got the water on. Now we're going to go for lemon yellow. So I'm going to do that to a coffee strength, yeah. So it's about 25 to 50% thickness. I'm starting at the top, I'm just going to drag this roughly around this light area. So there's no water, that's why the paint won't drip there. I'm just dragging it down to the bottom, only on that bit, don't need to go any further. Now I'm going to go for cad orange, coffee strength, and add this next to the lemon yellow so it's further down. The reason for that is I want it to bleed in rather than overwhelm what's already there. So there's your two colours, cad orange and lemon yellow. Now next colour Rose Opera. So this is a light boisterous pink. Mine's a Daniel Smith's one, but whatever colour you've got, guys, will be fine in that sort of area. Dragging this along this side. So this gives it a nice warm glow, and it's also nicely in the realms of the colours we're using. It's not a big leap. Okay, see the shape start to form. So we've got that on. Now I'm just going to throw on some, let's have a look. I think a little bit of royal blue. So it's Sennelier colour. This is at the far end. And this gives the impression that it's a bit in shadow. Yeah. Coffee strength again. And then I dab a few little bits in while you're not looking. Yeah. So it gives a nice round full shape. That's what we've got. So got that on, and that's beginning to dry, which is useful, which is what we want. So we've got that on. Now we're going to do the stem with a bit of water and the leaves. So all I do is push a bit of water out. I don't just plonk it in the lines, I just vaguely put it on. Lemon yellow again, coffee strength. Now I'm going to go for sap green. So all the colours are listed at the beginning of the tutorial, guys. Just pop over there, make a little note. Or better still, just get them all ready before we start. Just dropping this into the yellow this time. Look how quick this is. Yeah. I bet you said you were going painting and people think, oh, they're going to be a long time. I'll read the paper. Well, they barely sat down and read the paper, even the cover, and you're almost done. So there's the two first colours, lemon yellow, sap green. Now I've got cobalt blue. Just dragging this a bit along the bottom, then flicking a little bit up. Yeah. What that does is give me a nice little misty, shadowy colour. Behind the leaves, you know where they get a bit darker, it's a bit shadowy down there. All doing very well, guys. You're doing fabulously, fabulously well. Right, still getting rid of that pumpkin soup. Now, what I'm going to do is put the background on. Yeah, I'll put it on second. Get the pumpkin on for a start when we work around it. So I'm going to start from the bottom. I'm going to drag some water across and across, and then underneath. I'm going to use royal blue. Coffee strength, boom, yeah, boom, special watercolour sound effects. So all I do is use the width, the full width of Dangerous Dave. Then, nearer to the pumpkin, I break it up by just dragging thinner lines. And you can bump into the pumpkin and just slide underneath. Don't drag it too much. So you're capturing the light, hitting the base where the pumpkin's having a bit of a rest. Okie dokes. Alright, next colour we've got, we're going to go for cobalt blue again. But for a start, I'm going to put a little bit of water around. So I'm not touching the pumpkin or the leaves, I'm just going around the edges. Get a nice big area. And that keeps it nice and fluid. That's where I caught it, but it's quite nice. It don't matter at all. So this time, cobalt blue, a little bit thicker. We're going for cream strength this time. So I'm using again the full edge, the full force, the full width of Dangerous Dave, and I'm just gradually just going round the shape. Yeah. I'm changing colour now, not me, but the colour on the palette. I'm going for purple. So again, I'm just going to rough line this end and gradually bringing this up to the shape of the pumpkin. And I'm dragging some of the purple into the blue now. You must think I'm crazy. Well, I am, but it works very well. Now, dragging the purple into where the leaves are, but I'm leaving a bit of a white edge sometimes, because that gives a nice effective movement. So where I leave these white edges, it's not all the time, but it just extends the shape and colours we've got out there already. So there you go, I've just jumped around the leaves, bit of blue on again. I'm just chopping, so I can either use the thin end, which is more or less that, to shape it, or just bring it down with the shape, the line shape, the straight shape of the brush. So I'm bring this all the way down and just bring a few lines out. Yeah, cool. Other side, bit of purple. Not messing about. Again, just following the shape, and where we get to this line, which roughly the surface, we change it from a big block of colour, there's your block, into lines. And now I'm just going to whiz a couple of lines. I'm sure you can whiz, that's whizzing just out, and this gives a nice feeling of space. There you go, there's your glowing pumpkin within a nice border. So now let's do a few other little things. I'm going to change my brush. I'm going to change it to a small dagger brush. That's Mini Dave, he's a good lad. And what we're going to do now is make it even a bit darker. So I'm going to get some indigo on Mini Dave. Now my paper's still wet. If yours is dry, make sure you put a little bit of water down, and this will keep it flowing. So if it's dry, you can actually put water on top, and it won't go anywhere. It won't just go kaplunk. It will just bleed gently, and you can add colours to it. So it's quite a good thing. Indigo. So I want to make this side a bit darker. And obviously, using a smaller brush, you can make smaller shapes with the brush. We get a level at the bottom of the pumpkin, and I'm just dragging this colour under. So it's darker this side. It's always better to have one side darker and one side a bit lighter. And that helps you define the light a bit better. A couple of bits that side, a bit of blobby bit. A few little chops, not lamb chops, but chops into the shape again. And a little bit of water to soften the edge off. Yeah. Now what I'm going to do now is drop a little bit of turquoise in. Now this is an artist quality one, so it's quite boisterous, and it makes a nice little kaplunk feel, i.e. little blobs of light just floating about. Okay, we've got all that on, guys. Zooped through that, we've zooped through it. Okay, next thing, are you ready? We're going to get, still going to use Mini Dave, but we're going to get a little bit of stronger colour onto the pumpkin. I'm going with cream strength cad orange. Start at the top, I'm just bringing that down, that line. It's a big thick old line I'm putting on, and then I break it up, so I put a few dots this side, fuller this side, dottier this side, so it gives a bit of texture to the pumpkin. Another line, drag, drag, A few little breaky, jumpy bits. Same again. Yeah. And this one, next one, let's do it with the pink Rose Opera. And what about that blue again? Yeah, I know you like that. But each time I'm just doing some of it, not all of it. So these lighter bits act as light within the pumpkin. You've done very well. Next one, changing brush again to Miss Rigger brush. I'm going to do the same again, but we're going to thinner lines this time. So there's my line. And what you need to do here, this side you curve into the left. This time you curve into the right. So anything in the centre is dead straight, being there. This side you curve in, yeah. Excellent curving, guys. I can see what you're doing. And I've got a little bit of darker red, so I've got a little bit of alizarin crimson. Yeah, just a few lines. And then a little bit of darker blue, so my next blue would be the one we used on the background for a start, cobalt blue. I'm just drifting a bit of this through the red, so you blend them together. Yep, cool as custard, Mr. Mustard. Almost final thing. I've got a darker green there just to chop out a few shapes on the stem. So these are like the little lines you get on a stem, fibrous lines. Only one side though, a dark side. A few bits on the leaf, generally just underneath, and again, whereas we had that white bit before, now you can just drag them a bit beyond the white bit. So we're always chopping and changing. What shall I wear? I don't know, but not that type of debate. But while we're debating it, we're still painting. Yeah. Looking cool, guys, it's looking cool. Right, couple more things. Now you know those little lines you get? Not lines, what are they? Little roots you get, whether you're coming from the top. I'm just going to drag a couple down like that. Couple like that. And then just on this side, I'm going to put maybe a blue one. This side, I'm just going to use a bit of water. No paint on whatsoever. Now that will show itself in a little while. Crocodile. Very final thing, a bit of international splatter. So we've got Miss Rigger, we've got Cad Orange to coffee strength, and all we do is a bit of that. Gives it a bit of movement, bit of Rose Opera, gives a bit more movement. I might put a bit of Cad Orange just at the bottom there, as if it's a reflective glow. Sound good? So guys, that is it. That is our little pumpkin, all glowing with a nice background. You've done a lot in there in a very short space of time. Had fun as always, so do it again and really capture the beauty and skill of this fabulous way of painting. So well done guys, I shall see you all again very, very soon.